In this video, I'm going to remove this from the plastic casing, and although it's not strictly necessary for anything that I need to do to this machine, for the benefit of anyone who's out there watching in YouTube land, I'll just do a complete strip down, removing all of these printed circuit boards, both from this half of the plastic case and from the other half. Something you should notice with a view to reassembling this is that the screws that are holding this onto the plastic case have all got a tiny little arrow etched into the circuit board. The reason that that is useful is when you come to reattach this, you don't want to be putting screws into these other holes, because they're the ones that correspond to plastic posts on the other half of the case. So if you put screws in these ones, you can see there's empty ones here. If you're as daft as me the first time I did it, then you're going to be scratching your head while you try and put screws in through the other half of the case, wondering why it won't go in. The screws are all of the same type, and it's our trusty, I believe, size 2 Phillips head screwdriver that we're going to be using to remove it. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screws attaching this. Notice that the screw that I just removed from this tab here has got an extra washer in it. That's to make sure that you're getting a solid earth from this bit of shielding through onto the board underneath. You're also going to need to remove a screw here on this little daughter board, which is your headphone socket. The screw I removed is compatible with the others, but it looks different. It's black. The mixer should now lift out part of the way, but not all of it, because it's attached to the XLR input board. Underneath that board we've got 3 plug headers. You can just pull those out. Use needle nose pliers if you're feeling cautious. Because I'm confident I can fix these if I break them, I just pull them out by hand. And there we have it. Oh my, is it manky. A lot of cleaning you need to go on there. I don't particularly recommend or see any huge necessity for removing this shielding, but if you do, note that the black foam that's designed to keep muck out of the faders faces up the way. The silver side, if I just remove part of this, should face down towards the plastic case. If you needed to remove the daughter board, which has got the 4 XLR inputs and the sub input RCA plugs on it, then you would do that by removing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 these little screws. Not a lot of components in there really, just a couple of resistors in the sockets themselves. Next I'll remove this printed circuit board here. That's the board that's got all of the buttons controlling the transport cord arm, as well as the tape speed, and it's got the LED display mounted in it. Unlike the mixer, there aren't any little silver arrows pointing at these screws telling you which ones need to be fitted before you put the case back on. So just make sure when you're reinstalling this that this hole and this hole you leave alone, because these are for plastic posts on the other half of the case. The screws are of the same kind that we removed from the mixer board. And here's how it looks. There are these removable plastic parts that sit on top of the record arm switches and the speed switch. It's quite easy to get this one mixed up with the little plastic caps for some of the switches in the mixer board. So if you're going to remove these to kind of clean them, get around all of this, be careful you don't get that mixed up. It won't seem like a problem to begin with, but it'll trip you up when you try and fit this back in the plastic case. If you get one of the mixer ones on here, they're going to be slightly too wide to go into the corresponding slot on that part of the case. And you can see the buttons come away in 3 groups. These are less susceptible to damage than the corresponding buttons on the 244, maybe because this is a more recent machine, but you can repair them in the same way. You can run cut up strips of cable tie along here and glue them. That gives you the right amount of flexibility, and that is something I will be demonstrating in a video. Check my channel page, you might find it there already. And the last thing I'll do in this half of the case is remove the cassette door. The mechanism in this is very simple. There's a little metal tab attached to the little plastic posts here. Say you'd broken one of these and you'd managed to find a replacement one on eBay. You'd slot it in on that side first, then you'd get your little metal tab, making sure that that protrusion, that angle there, is pointing down the way. Screw it in so that those two little plastic pegs fit into those two holes. And it works again.